Good morning and welcome to the Forex Daily Update, brought to you by Pepperstone on Tuesday the 13th of November 2018. I'm Darren Sinden and you can follow me throughout the day on Twitter by using @DS_Pepperstone. Right, let's kick off with a look at the overnight changes and price moves to be aware of. And really, it's a story of a partial reversal, at least, of some of last week's major traits. We've seen gains for both the euro, the pound sterling, and in particular the Australian and New Zealand dollars, all pushing back against their US counterpart, and in the case of the Antipodean twins, in a decent fashion too. We also saw the dollar losing ground against the Canadian dollar and the Mexican peso as well, again refuting some of last week's moves. But interestingly, I suppose I should say, is that the fact that dollar index is cementing its position above 97, at least for now, 97.52 trading, off the top over the course of the last 24 hours, nonetheless higher than it started the day yesterday. So dollar supremacy as far as the trade weighted index is concerned, not so much though in the case of the majors. Okay, what's on the calendar then? Events that may move the markets today. A much busier calendar than yesterday, and we kick off at 7 a.m. GMT with the release of the Harmonised Index of Consumer Prices. That's the ECB's preferred measure of inflation, and this data coming out of Germany for the month of October. That'll also be accompanied by the release of CPI data over the same period. Then at 8 a.m. GMT, we'll have the first of the day's central banker speeches, and this one from the ECB's Peter Prié. At 9:30, we jump back across the channel to the UK for the release of unemployment for September, average earnings for the month of September, and claimant count change data for October. So a real look at the state of the UK labour market and the tightness within it. At 10 a.m, we cross back to Germany and the ZEW survey for November, a chance to assess the current situation and economic sentiment within the German economy, according to survey participants there. And then we take a significant break from major data releases until 1500 this afternoon, when we'll have our next central banker speech, and this one from FOMC member Brainard. That'll be followed at 1900 by the release of October's monthly budget statement out of the USA, a chance to look closely at the state of US government finances over the last month. And then at 2200 we'll hear from FOMC member Daly in the last of the day's central banker speeches. And if you're a night owl and still in the market at 23:30 GMT, you can see the Australian Westpac consumer confidence data for November. And at 23:50 we'll have Japanese gross domestic product for Q3. These are preliminary reads on both a quarter-on-quarter and annualized basis. Okay then, breaking news and comment that's caught my eye overnight. First of all, Italy has submitted fresh budget proposals to Brussels, but if the latest set don't pass muster, then the EU could fine the Italian state up to 2% of its GDP. Angela Merkel will today address the European Parliament. The question is, will she hint at taking on the big reforms in the EU favoured by President Macron before she leaves office, or will she leave the path open for Emmanuel Macron to pursue those alone? And US equities sold off last night, led lower by Apple and other tech names, as concerns about falling demand for the iPhone and other products continues to dog the US tech sector. Okay then, food for thought quite literally today, something to take away with you into the trading day and beyond. And why not think about this? The world's population is growing rapidly, but not just in terms of its headcount. As a race we are growing heavier, or a species I should say, we are growing heavier and demanding a higher daily calorific intake on an ongoing basis. And these are trends that could cause real issues when it comes to feeding 9 billion of us by 2050, and 9 billion is the UN population estimate for the Earth for 2050. The charts here, sourced from Quartz and the Norwegian University of Science and Technology, show average weight of the human population by country as in 2014, and the changes herein on the right hand side since 1975. We also look at the average daily calorific intake and the percentage change in that intake. Obviously, the more people weigh, the heavier they are, the more food they're eating, the bigger the calorific demands, and the harder it is to produce that food with scarce resources such as land and water. So something definitely to think about, and of course the effects on food prices going forward as well. Okay, time for the risk warning. Trading CFDs and foreign exchange on margin can be a risky business. If you're in any doubt about those risks or the suitability of leverage products for you, then please do contact your Pepperstone account representative, and do please take the time to read this risk warning thoroughly. Thank you for your time.